Oh, this is really exciting. I'm really excited to be here, you guys. Um, Now and Later is this series we just started recently. In fact, last week was our first week, Wednesday night. And it's the idea that not only does now affect your later, but you can use now to affect your later. Talking about using your present to set up your future. But before we get to that, can we get a round of applause for our band? That was awesome. Yeah. I remember when I got here almost 2 years ago. Um, we had a lot going, but a lot left. We had a senior class that basically just when they were gone, we didn't have hardly anything. We were left with a bunch of middle schoolers, which I was happy about. Don't get me wrong. But that was really it. And so we didn't have a band. We didn't have many kids. We didn't have much of anything. But I had a good team. Haley was probably my biggest supporter. It has been, probably might always be, biggest supporter for that youth group. All the time given, all the time put in to our kids, into lock-ins, into trips. It's been a blessing working with our team. Sydney as well has done a lot for our band. She was a part of the original band when I got here, and she has just continued to stick with it and say, I'm not leaving you. Like, we're staying here. We're going to make this something. And then Savannah, my fiance, as well. Just so much time put into this, and I'm just super excited to be here now and be able to share something with you and share what a wonderful verse I want to share with you. We call it a youth takeover. That is so awesome to be in that position now where we're actually able to do that. That's just awesome to me. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In fact, I'll give you some just a few numbers here. When I first started, I can't give the exact numbers. I'm gonna say it was around 10 people, and at least half of them were adults that were over there. It was, like I said, I had a good support system, but just didn't have many kids. And I think 2 weeks ago, I think we reached a new max for teens. And that was 18 teens. It was 25 people in total, but 18 teenagers over there. That's awesome. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, oh, we need all the numbers. We need to be the biggest and the best. What I'm saying is, LifeBridge, as a church, has 18 teenagers devoted to coming on Wednesday nights and learning about Christ. That's the main part, right? Learning about Christ. Learning about how to use their life for His kingdom and what Christ does for us. I mean, there's just something awesome about that, isn't there? So, anyways, I think I've talked enough about that. I'll get into this sermon. I was writing this and I was looking at some other stuff and I was trying to find who would be the one person that might, just might, well, the one singer who might reach across two different platforms. A more mature, see, I caught myself there. I didn't say the O word. A more mature crowd and a younger generation. And I thought, well, if Mark can pick, who is it, Mark? What was that band that we listened to every Sunday? I can't even think of who it is. Come on, tell me who it is. Last couple weeks we listened to them. Yeah, the signs, everywhere signs. Who is that by? Who is it? Oh gosh. Come on, y'all. Y'all not listen to his sermons? This is a bad start. I'm sorry, Mark. I love you. I think I don't know who it is. But anyways, if he could pick a song from then, maybe I could pick somebody that's a little bit younger and you still understand. Taylor Swift. Who has heard this name? Okay, at least a majority of the teenagers have. Who likes Taylor Swift? Raise your hand if you do. And you can be honest about this. We're going to take a little survey here. If you want to yell at me, you can. I'd rather you not, but it's okay. I'm not going to be too upset with you. If you wanna shout praise for Taylor Swift, you do whatever you please. If you want to raise your hand and not raise your hand, that's fine. This is not formal. Just we'll talk about Taylor Swift for a second. So, who doesn't like Taylor Swift? Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's definitely a few, right? Um, Now here's a good question. How many of you used to like her? There's a lot more hands for that one. What about here's one. You probably won't have a good answer for this, but just use your imagination. How many of you think you're going to like Taylor Swift 5 to 10 years from now? A few, not very many. You see, Taylor Swift came out with this album called Reputation, and she recognized that her reputation wasn't so great. She made a lot of money off of it. Yeah, imagine that, right? But she imagined that her reputation wasn't so good. And you see, it's amazing how somebody like that, even though she has a bad reputation, or has been granted, I guess is a good term, a bad reputation for a few mistakes and whatnot, she was still able to turn that around and make money. And I don't know about you, but if I can make money off a bad reputation, well, I'm probably not going to do it because I'm a youth minister. But, it doesn't sound like too bad of an idea. You know what I mean? I'm kidding, kids, don't listen to me. But she has made so much money off of a bad reputation. In fact, that's what we're going to talk about today. Maybe not exactly her album Reputation, but about our reputation. In this series, Now and Later, we're talking about how we use wisdom in certain areas of our life to impact the future. And I don't have too much to go through today. I'll make it pretty simple. I don't know about you, but I like lunch. But no, I'm kidding. But no, I don't think it needs a bunch of words attached to it to get my point across. And I think that's where I'm going to stay today. Let's just go ahead. Let's hop on over. Let's go to Proverbs 22:1. Let's just read this. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. That's pretty simple. But I think there's a twist to this. Because the truth is, in high school, middle school, and maybe even sometimes as we get more mature, that's not always the case, does it seem like? It seems like in high school, you get a bad rap for being a good kid. Goody two shoes, right? Who's heard that before? Teacher's pet, who's heard that before? And so, sometimes, a good name is not more desirable than great riches at that time. That's very key, right? And once again, we're going back to that idea that now affects what? Later, right? And so in school, sometimes we won't go for having a good name, and we'll go for make a few more mistakes. We'll take some chances here. We'll fail a test because we don't want to put time into that. Well, who knows? Maybe in work, for people that are older than me. No, I'm kidding. Maybe doing your best isn't always perceived as a good thing. I know sometimes people say, "Oh, you're trying too hard. Can you not make it look so bad?" That does happen. And so therefore, you say, "Okay, well, I'm gonna slack up on this. I'm not gonna try as hard." Well, then you end up getting in trouble with your boss. There's a very big fight here between these two, and what is more important. And the truth is, it comes down to a personal level, I think. It comes down to a pretty easy question. What do you want out of life? What do you really want? Are you okay with being a people pleaser? Are you okay with maybe sacrificing your job for that? What are you okay with? Are you okay with somebody getting the raise you've been fighting for? In school, are you willing to sacrifice some friends to have a good name? And so it's a lot I don't think it's as black and white as we want it to be. The truth is, overall, long term, when you look at it from a full diagram, however you want to look at it, this is 100% true. But what are you willing to sacrifice to have a good name? I'll give you a quick story. Um, I made a mistake one time. Imagine that, right? Made a mistake, but I share this story actually a good bit with our teenagers. I might have shared it with you. I don't think I have. A long time ago, long time ago, back when Tyler was in middle school, I was probably about this tall. I don't really know. That's 100% a joke. But I was pretty short, I can tell you that much. I was in 6th grade. No, 7th grade. I don't know. One of the two. And I got in a fight with this boy in the boys' bathroom. What a horrible place to get into a fight. We met up in there. We basically, just give you the full outline. My mom had actually recently died. He has some words to say about her. As you can imagine, as a guy, didn't like that. So we said we're going to tussle, right? And so that's what happened. Went to the guys' restroom, and we threw down. About 30 minutes into the action, I guess you'd say, one of my coaches came in. I was a football player. One of my coaches came in and said, "What are y'all doing?" And the funny thing is he's been shorter than us, but he was meaner than all of us. This guy was mean. I liked him. His name was Coach Sims. And so he broke it up, whatever, and we got sent to the principal's office. Well, in the principal's office, this other gentleman that I got in a fight with didn't have a good reputation. I did. And so I made a mistake that has really changed my life. And I lied to the principal, and I said, I didn't start it. He jumped me when I got in there. That was my story. Stuck to it. And of course, they believed me. Because I had a what? I had a good name. And so they believed me. Well, I got sent back to class. He got sent to ISS, whatever. Or, I can't remember before all of that. But anyways, I got sent somewhere. And then I got called up probably an hour later. And Mr. Perez was his name. That was my principal's name. Brought me into his office. He said, "Tyler, what really happened?" And of course, kind of knew it was over. Heart was pounding walking in there. And it come to find out, there was a kid in one of the bathroom stalls. He videoed the whole thing. Yeah. So here I am, and I had to watch this video. And oh man, I was a stud back then, you know. I see myself on this video, and I walk in there and take my hoodie off, you know, getting ready to go, warming up the hands, you know. Say, all right, you know, we're going to tussle. No, I'm kidding. You know, so, you know, and so it shows this full video of me and this gentleman fighting, and everything I said was a lie. Every bit of it. Everything was a lie. And so right then and there, very quickly, my name was not good. I was known as a liar. And of course, I got like 10 times the punishment he got, which I deserved. I'm not arguing that one bit. But it was one moment of weakness. Well, two. I shouldn't have fought in the first place. But secondly, lying. What a mistake that was. And of course, the truth is, if you have a bad name, you can work back and make it good. And I have. I've done a lot to remake my name. So, I think that's a decent way to kind of end this, and just tell you this. A good reputation is not only good for now, it's good for later. And secondly, if you have a bad reputation, your life's not over. You can make it good. A lot of hard work, yeah. Is it worth it? 110%. This book of Proverbs, man, it's so much wisdom. So much wisdom. Now, I'm going to put myself in a hole real quick. I know I'm digging a ditch, but it's okay. The more mature people, if you can understand what I'm saying here, they're full of this wisdom. And as students, as teens, as children, you want to find wisdom. There's two places I know of 110%. That's the book of Proverbs and the older generation. Oh, I said it, didn't I? Oops, yeah. The mature generation, man, I tell you, there's something to be said about having a good conversation over breakfast. I know you had to wake up early. Oh, Lord. But having a good breakfast and talking about life and learning and growing with an older generation. That's something at 24, I'm not 24 yet. At 24, I've just learned to enjoy the chance to grow. And so that's another thing I want to leave you with. And I think I'm ready to wrap this up. I'll say it one more time. A good reputation is good for you now and good for you later. I want to pray. We have a few things going on. Actually, let's do this. I want to pray. The band, if y'all come back up, we'll go ahead and get this party rolling. Let's pray, y'all. Father, thank you for this time that you've given me to preach your word, to look at your book of Proverbs and in this 66-book love letter, the Bible. Look at Proverbs and just say, this right here is wisdom. Thank you for that, Father. Father, I pray as we go throughout the rest of this week, that we dive into your wisdom. Who has lived it more, us or you? Oh, man, you're so much smarter than any of us could ever be, Father. Thank you. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen. We're going to come into a time of